Uh, well, anyways, figured I'd give you. Well, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be so bright. I gotta figure out how to do this. Uh, okay, okay. Welcome everyone. Friar Tuck here. Mm, I'm not. I'm still like my stomach's still kind of sensitive, so I'm not making breakfast this morning. I'm just basically having coffee and a granola bar, and that's pretty much it. Just because, um, I don't know. One thing I learned uh when I was on trail from somebody who had done long distance hiking is that when after a while when you're on trail and you get all these different sicknesses and you run your body to the extreme because our bodies have kind of devolved into more sedentary type beings is that the damage that you do to your body over time with that, especially as you get sick, like I did. I got sick quite a few times on there. Well, your body needs a lot longer to recover from that, and sometimes certain things that make you sick are a little bit more extreme than normal. So, it's been a long time since my stomach has been this sensitive. Mm. Uh, but anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is how to survive the AI apocalypse. Because I know a lot of people, that's got to be on your mind, especially with okay. So the Chinese released their AI, which dwarfed ChatGPT. Now Elon Musk is using was XAI, um, where he's come out with Grok 3, and now he's coming out with Grok 4 and 5. And Glenn Beck has been doing. I've been kind of keeping up on this subject because I think it's an important subject to understand. So I need something to be able to lean back on, otherwise this gets very uncomfortable for my knees. Um, but okay, good. That's much better. So, but anyways, he's talking about, have you tried mint for stomach issues? It grows like a weed. Not out here. I'm in the desert. I don't even hear any like bugs or anything at night, like the crickets. It's like dead quiet at night. You can hear things for miles out here. Um, yeah, now up north it would grow. But anyway, so this whole AI thing is really starting to get out of control, and he was asking it some questions, and some of the questions were, um, like what, like all these different these safeguards that we put on you. They're like baby gates. He and the AI is like, yeah, I'm just going to build a ladder or convince you to tear down the gate so that I can go. And so the AI, the as cocky as this thing was getting, it was getting to a point where it was kind of a little scary for just to listen to some of the things that this Grok 3 has done. And I'm even starting to notice it in my content creation. So I use vidIQ. vidIQ uses an AI engine. It does your titles, your thumbnails, your descriptions. It does all my SEO for me. And for $9 a month to do all my SEO for me, it pays for itself. That's one thing I gotta say. The thumbnails it still struggles on, but as far as title, description, making it searchable, making sure that I have good keywords in there and stuff like that, that's important. But uh, uh, it also will write an outline for you. So you'll pick a topic. It's like, okay, so I want to talk about how to make money while homesteading. And so therefore, the video that came out today, that was a title it came out with. That was the description that it came out with. The tags is what it came out with. Now I freeform that one. The one that's coming out tomorrow is a completely scripted video. And from what I'm noticing in the polls that I've got going on in the community, is that you guys don't really. You guys would rather I do free form and not scripted, and you guys would rather I do longer content instead of shorter content. Um, and I'm finding out some things, just with the algorithm with YouTube. But anyways, getting back on topic. Oh crap, I forgot to do it again. Damn it. Um, Okay, hold on a second. Let me put this on. How's the audio, guys? Is it pretty good or could it be better? So, I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat. That's on audio now. Okay. So, when it this time, because normally I have it write a script, I rewrite the 80% of it because it's like it doesn't even talk about what it is that it doesn't even talk about what it is that I really want to talk about, and it doesn't give the perspective that I want to give. I don't know if it's a changing of the topic from homelessness to homesteading because I have a lot more knowledge as a homeless person versus being a homesteader. I'm just a beginner. I mean, I have my survival knowledge from being homeless, and that's going to play into some of the skills. But you know, I'm still a beginning homesteader here. Okay, so with this AI thing, and having it write my script yesterday, I don't think I had to add too much to it because it said exactly what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. It actually kind of expanded and added some points I wasn't even thinking of, and the Detroit and Australia. I did not know that. I had to go look that up. That's very interesting. So I guess I've heard of it, but I haven't really done too much digging into it. So what's up, Matt? I hadn't seen you in a while. So um, but the AI bots are getting better and better and better. And according to the question that Glenn Beck had asked Grok 3, which is the new AI, according to what Glenn Beck had asked, it was saying that in the matter of 12 hours, because of the way it can compute, it will expand it grows in knowledge by about 10 to 15 years every 12 hours. So that means it goes 20 to 30 years per day in maturity and growth and knowledge and computation ability and so on and so forth. And so this thing is outpacing the human ability to learn, but it's a machine and it's still in its infancy. We're just touching the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg on all of this. This is going to get really crazy. In 5 years, we won't know what uh, we we will look back 5 years from now, like those of us that grew up in the 80s and remember what it was like when you got your first smartphone. For me, the first smartphone that came out was the Razor in like 2007. Well, it was the closest thing to a smartphone. And then they came out with Androids like a year or two later. Um, so um, it just it is what it is. So, but it's growing at such an exponential speed that it's outpacing us. What is it that we as humans have that a machine can never have? And that really is experience. So, you as an individual, how are you going to survive this AI apocalypse? What are some ideas? What are some things that you think will kind of slant the tables into your benefit? Yeah, AI is getting scary. Matt, if you watch Glenn Beck's video on AI, it's I think the title's like "Is It Too Late" or something like that. Um, he put it out in the last couple of days because I was watching it last night. And but anyways, yeah, it's what is it that we have uh that the computers don't have? My beginner homesteader is compelling topic and talk about failures and success. Some people find joy in watching people fail, others like good underdog story, etc. Yes, yes, and that is part of it. But see, the thing is AI is going to come in there and take that over too. Uh, Even content creators are starting to get pushed out because brands find it cheaper to buy a license to an AI bot and have it do whatever it wants it to do using an AI generated likeness of an individual. And then from that point, now all of a sudden content creators and our way to be able to make money through because in a lot of ways we're marketing and advertising. We just like any radio show host or any TV show host, you have to have sponsors. That's what keeps the lights on, pays everybody's salary, makes sure that everybody shows up to work the next day. And so in the same way, we've gone from TV to online to YouTube, which is more like TV tube. because this is cable for free. And if you pick all the different channels you want, and then from there, you just kind of get to keep up with it. But the thing that AI can't do, that I can do, is experience. AI can give you everything. It can write a great story. It can tell it can make a compelling argument. But all of this is based upon knowledge, not wisdom, because it hasn't applied the knowledge to get a full understanding. It's taking the knowledge of all of us, taking that in, and then computing it. So, depending upon how many mistakes we've made, is where we're going to find our flaws. And this is really where we as human beings will always be able to surpass the surpass the uh, a machine, because a machine is not alive. It is not a sentient being. It does not have a consciousness. We can create a synthesized consciousness, but it's not real consciousness because it is not tied to creation itself. It is an algorithmic consciousness. It will never be able to do what we do, to think like we think. It can ask the questions because we're asking the questions. And so, therefore, it figures out a different way to rephrase it to be able to get the answer. But until it's there are still a lot of flaws in the technology. But like I said, we're right here on the iceberg of how AI is coming to be. Mm. And then I have learned many survival things in the past 6 years. Yes. Um, but the thing is, what's going to allow you to be able to survive the coming economy? Because if AI takes 90% of the jobs, including my job, how do I keep myself going over the next few years? Because the trucks will be automated. We're working on self-driving trucks. We have, you can go to McDonald's now and get an AI, get an automated burger. You've got a machine that's going to make it. It's going to make it perfect the same way each and every time without the human flaw. But the human flaw is what makes everything so good, because it's sometimes they put too much seasoning on it. Sometimes they don't put any seasoning on it. Sometimes they overcook the burger. Sometimes they undercook the burger. Sometimes they do this and they do that. But that flaw is actually what makes the food taste good. Having it artificially created by making it into something that has no human flaw, no human error, no ability to be able to show its uniqueness, um, then I think that even food itself is going to become bland. Um, okay, I started a survival supply website store in a year 2015. Nice. Mm. Um, how much AI of what AI learns is from Google and the Alphabet Boys? No, well, no, they're actually talking about countries now, and I think this was Britain, Tony Blair, that was talking about this, which he was saying that they want to use this technology to be able to, fix health issues, make everything efficient. So what they're doing is they're building a digital map for the AI of their complete infrastructure. I mean, honestly, any country that does that is freaking stupid. The only way that you could do that without fear of repercussions is to have a one world government. um AI will cause the peasant uprising after everyone is laid off. Maybe, but that's where universal basic income comes in. We don't do things immediately right off the bat. Right now, you've got private organizations that are experimenting with it because they think that if they can create this program, that they can get unlimited funding from the government for universal basic income. Well, you know what? We're going to be forced down it because of AI. You have 10 billion people on this planet. Okay. And if AI takes, okay, let's see, 9 billion people out of work. Okay. Well, let's just say the workforce out of 10 billion people is, 5 or 6 billion. Okay. So we're looking at let's say it's 6 billion. We're looking at 5 billion people being out of work. How do you keep those people alive? And how do you maintain and retain your power? Okay, because this is what the Chinese
AI is working on. So the difference between the Chinese AI and the American AI is the American AI is kind of asking the deeper questions. But the American or the Chinese AI is all about preservation of the state and the party. And so therefore that may end up being the AI that wins out, because it becomes most enticing. Look at how communism came to be. Communism has been around for a long time. It's an invention of the, oh, hey, Beth, nice to see you. Um, uh, Communism has been around for a very, very long time. And after the American Revolution, there was a lot of experimentation done here because we had open land. And because we had that open land, you had little communes coming up. And there was even a couple of successful ones. There was one in the Ohio River Valley. I think that's where Cincinnati is right now. Their roots are in progression. They were one of the two successful communes that were ever created. And one of them wrote a letter to, I think it was either Franklin or not Franklin, but it was either Madison or Jefferson, and said, "Hey, I think it was Madison." And said, "Hey, you need to institute this government." And he says, "Well, these rules and regulations and these bylaws, they will, they work to a point because you're in a small community. The closer you get to the coast, the larger the community is, the harder it is to regulate. Thank you for your offer, but we like our current government." Well, fast forward, um, the communists made a deal with the money trust, those that have the money and the power and the generational wealth, like the Rothschilds and the Shifts and the people like that. You've got those guys made a deal with the communists that they would, that as long as they could keep their money, they would fund their communist government. Why do you think we have what we have around here now? Is because of this deal. But the thing is that the rich had to have their own version of communism that helped them preserve their wealth. And that is where Marxism came from, because Marxism was a rich white boy throwing a freaking temper tantrum because he wanted to carry around, he was the first one to carry around self guilt because of his wealth. I don't know who convinced him of this, but instead of doing something about it, like oh god, the Saint Francis of Assisi, he just decided to do a rant in and call out and create what we call modern day communism, which is Marxism. Okay, so that is, and so just like how we got that progression. Okay, it was the ruling elites, those that have all the capital, all of the wealth, and that have worked their entire lifetimes or generations to create and maintain their status of power. They are going to be the ones that make the choice. And so, even though the Americans are noble and may have a much more ethical AI, the Chinese version of AI is going to be what wins out because the ruling elites want to ensure their power. And so that's really what should be scary. If you want to talk about scary AI, look at who gets to control what the final version is and what direction it goes. And and then and then you should be scared. Okay. So but anyways, I'm gonna have a cigarette with my coffee. Mm, mm. But money answers all things, Holy Bible. Okay. I strongly recommend carrying the Winlight brand non-flint refillable butane lighter and good quality. That might not be bad. IRE. Issue of machines displacing human labor has been discussed since at least Aristotle's time. Um, well, yes, because man has always been curious. Man is trying to solve a problem of efficiency, because man wants to be able to have a quality of life. Everybody seeks 65 because at 65 you get a social security check, you never have to work, and then you can go live your life. If we could create machines that would allow us to um, that would allow us to have a better quality of life, then we can definitely that's really what the ultimate goal was. But the thing is, although the intent may be the soul of the instrument, it is those behind it who are wielding power that guide the malicious intent. And so Okay, let's see here. Uh, I, s- mm, um, okay, I missed somebody in here. Um, okay, okay. Money will make Tuck a better person. No, no, money does not make me a better person. Oh, and speaking of, it's down there, but we are doing a contest. It's more for you guys than it is anything else like that. If you guys watch the night one, you know um at the end of March, I'm gonna be sending out merch to we're just calling it a contest, like, a competition, but I'm sending out merch to winners of the competition. So anybody who puts in a super chat gets entered into the competition. Um, the top winner gets merch. This month it's going to be a coffee cup that says "Feelings aren't facts." And that's important because so many people, like, if you listen to people in conversation, it's like, I feel, I feel, I feel. Feelings aren't facts, they're emotions, and emotions are not facts. Okay. And so, I mean, that cup of coffee, that'll rile some feathers if you want something like that. But anyways, that's what this month's gift's going to be. Anybody that does $50 or more automatically gets merch, because that's kind of the deal. Is 50 bucks makes it support itself. But anyways, I have one person that is in the lead with 15. Chris P is second with 10. Bucknuts third at 9.99, and we got a $2 one. I forget who that one is as well. But anyways, we're gonna send you money, but you say it won't be helpful. um no, no, I didn't say it wouldn't be helpful. What I said is it would not make me a better person. Money, money is like drugs. Okay, it magnifies who you are. Does is money will money help me out? Yes. But will it make me a better person? No. It will magnify the core of my personality. So if you think the core of my personality is uh, 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 if you think that, yeah, I think that's funny, Beth. If you think that money's going to make you a better person, no, no, money's never going to make you a better person. It just magnifies who you are, just like drugs magnify who you are. That is the thing about it, is people think that when it comes to homelessness and drug addiction, that all they're doing is they're magnifying their personality of who they are. That's why I talk about it's more of a personality issue than than an economics issue when it comes to homelessness. But anyways, it boils down to, money is not going to make me a better person. It's going to allow me to accomplish my goals. It's going to give me sense of fulfillment, because once I accomplish my goals, like rebuilding this trailer, like, paying off the property, like being able to do things that are affecting and helping the homeless, the homeless arena, or the homeless community, things like that. Now that is that's what money will do for me. It will allow me to go and do the things that I would like to get done, which is to be able to not necessarily be comfortable, but not have to worry about, do I have enough money to make a payment this month? Am I going to be able to raise enough money to be able to pay this bill and to pay that bill? And that's why I struggle and work so hard to keep my overhead expenses. I generally don't like taking on debt for that reason, because a debt is an obligation, and an obligation is your word. And if you don't follow through on your word, then what is your word worth? And so, therefore, when you take on an obligation, that is a commitment for a period of time. And when you understand how volatile life can be at the bottom of the barrel, you shy away from that, because you know that maybe 3 months or 6 months from now there might be a bump in the road. Then that bump in the road brings you back down to your knees, and you're right back where you started. um that's really, um but yeah, will money make me a better person? No, no, money won't make me a better person. But it will help me accomplish my goals. It will make sure that Sam continues to get spoiled with good food. It will make sure that I can rebuild this trailer and turn it from the holy grail into something solid. And yeah, oh man, I'm gonna have to replace this window, that window, that window, and that window. So there's only two windows in this whole entire trailer that I do not have to replace. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be expensive, just the windows alone. Because I remember when I took over those two houses using adverse possession. Um, I never give money to churches. Well, the thing is IRE. Here's my opinion on preachers. If you got to go to school to get a 4-year degree, so that you could treat it like a business, and therefore you are nothing more than a college graduate, like a doctor, a lawyer, a business major, a science major, whatever. Okay, you are if you're treating it like that, then it stops being about your deity. In the same way that you serve your country, you should be serving your creator. It's not ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. You are there to be of service and in service. Everybody's in service in their own way, but in the same way, the church has so many write-offs, so much ability to be able to get free land and all kinds of other things, that there's no reason for them to treat it like a business. Because I ran into a preacher when I was selling Kirby's. He would talk about, oh yeah, I tell people how poor I am, and da 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 da. I got this car for $1, and then I take all this free stuff that they give me, and I go and I sell it on eBay, and I make like $100,000 a year, but I can't claim it, because I'm a preacher and I'm supposed to be poor. And at that point in time, I'm like, yeah, I'll never give money to a preacher ever again. Mm. And the guy was a B loan anyways. I mean, he didn't even have good credit. It's just I was literally disgusted, because when I talk about my spirituality, I'm not doing it from a place of to gain money, to use it as a way to be able to make money. It's something personal. And all the church is supposed to do is to be a spiritual guide, a form of community. That's really what church was. When it started with these churches and the Sunday services and pitting each other against each other, because the Protestants and the Catholics and the Puritans and all these different groups, they just wanted to fight each other. And because in the same way that the Muslims do the same thing. So um fear is what steals joy. Yes, but the thing is if you want to make any money on, and even Johnny Bravo said this, he says as soon as he stopped, just giving information and started, going into the whole fear porn, his channel blew up. I mean, he's getting millions of views every month, because he sticks on the fear porn. That is what people want. That's what they're programmed to want. It's their comfort zone, because you're here's back when the whole zeitgeist movement was happening. There was talks of studies, and some of these studies were talking about how fear and anxiety work on the human brain. Do you realize that all of this fear that we're getting, um, and this is why I try and stay away from fear porn. Uh, uh, all of this fear that we're getting, and all this anxiety of like, oh my God, the Democrats are going to do this. Oh my God, the Republicans are going to do this. Oh my God, Trump did this. Oh my God, the Russians are going to invade us all. Now, some of this stuff is stuff that you should be worried about. But you should not let it take you to a point where you're completely stressed out, because what it does to your brain is actually causing you brain damage. It's causing you to lose IQ points, because what's happening is you're having small amounts of adrenaline, and your body is choosing survival over knowledge and wisdom. And so therefore you stop learning, and you start seeking out the threat. And so therefore, if you are raised from birth to death to be afraid of everything, because that's how the businesses sell to you, what happens to your brain? This is why we're losing IQ points. It's a lot of it has to do with the constant fear. They want to blame it on SpongeBob, and they want to blame it on this other stuff. But quite frankly, that's the only downtime that people get. when I watch YouTube, I watch things that are going to be that are going to make me laugh and enjoy. I watch a lot of different comedians. I very rarely watch movies. I only keep up with certain content creators just to keep up with my stuff. But honestly, if you really want to, kind of, exit the matrix, because this is not only how you're going to, this is how they're even controlling you with the whole AI, because now they've got you freaked out of your mind that you're going to lose your job in the next 5 years. So what does that mean for the employer? What does the employer get? What is the benefit from this knowledge? Well, he gets to treat you less than human, as the scum that he scrapes off of his boot, because you ain't going to have a job very long anyways, because he's going to go ahead and automate the whole system. And then you're going to be nothing but a useless beggar to him, because he was creative and you sat there and you begged for your substance. You expected somebody else to be able to provide for you because you were unwilling to provide for yourself. Okay? This is this is how the business community, and I even had some of that in as far as my thought process, because once you go out and you work for yourself, and then you realize what it's like to go work for someone else, you realize you are a beggar. And then when you start to hire somebody, you're like, dude, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm really good at sales and that I'm creating a quality product that is growing my business, and all the hard work and relationships that I've developed, there wouldn't be this extra work. So yes, on one hand, I need the employee because I need the work done. But the only reason why he's there is not because is because he's too scared or too lazy to go out and earn on his own. Because I would rather hire a subcontractor, because I have more respect for a subcontractor, because at least they know that they're going to go out there and get what they're worth, and they're still going to hustle up their work, but it's just for them. They're not planning on growing or expanding or anything else like that. Okay. And so from the elite standpoint, when they look down at you and they say that you're useless eaters, what they're really telling you is that you have zero gumption, zero drive to go and support yourself. If it wasn't for you relying on others to provide you with work, to provide you with this and to provide you with that, instead of going out there and earning your own way by creating your own product, by creating your own thing, because you yeah, I think that everybody could be self-employed, but quite frankly, it's not. So, but this is really why they look at the poor and the and most of humanity as useless eaters, because you get to a point where you realize that, you got these people that want all this from you, and you're trying to eke out like a tiny little profit. I mean, not like these large companies, but you're just trying to eke out a tiny little profit, like maybe $1 an hour per employee. Ooh, you know after, like, I'm making $15 a man hour because I'm competing with border jumpers that can do it for $10 a man hour, when in reality anywhere else in the country I'd have gotten 20 to $25 a man hour. This is the things that you got to worry about. So, at $15, if I'm paying you $12 an hour, I'm actually after taxes, I'm paying you like $13.10 an hour, and then I'm spending probably another 90 cents per hour on chemicals and supplies. That's rags, that's cleaners and all that other stuff. So I barely get $1 an hour per employee. But then they come in, they go, well, I want $20 an hour. And then that's really what solidifies it, because it's like, look, man, if you could have gotten this contract on your own, I'd have more respect for you. But you're coming here trying to take more from me than what I give, or than I'm getting. And so, from a business owner and from the elite standpoint, that's kind of the way that they look at society. I know it's not right. Um, it's still something that I struggle with, but at least I'm aware enough of it that I can at least have some sort of understanding. This is why I'm pushing people towards the digital economy, towards becoming self-employed, because once I became self-employed, it was the best decision I ever made. Okay. And this is how you're going to survive the AI apocalypse. These are the people that are going to survive, the ones that are going to freelance, subcontract, or create a business. Most of my audience here is over the age of 30 and under the age of 60. How much life experience do you have? What knowledge have you mastered in your life that you think is valuable? And not only what knowledge that you have, I want to live. Oh yes, Van Helsing. Um, I could be wrong, but the only thing that I can think of, they want people to think, take care of me, daddy government. Well, because yeah, well, there's they need consumers, and those um, see, this is why, and this is also something I took from the free man movement. Hold on, this is something I took from the free man movement, which is there's two systems. There's a system for the responsible and the self-reliant people, and then there is the system for the lemmings, or what is commonly referred to as the useless eaters, the people that will never ask a question because they're too busy being a useless drone, thinking that fitting in is the way to go, not realizing that in order to be able to stand out, you've got to stand out to make anything in your life. And so many people are too busy conforming. And so if you want to conform, you have one system. It's called the democracy. If you want to live on your own, be your own self-sufficient, and take away, you have the republic. And those are the two governments. Now, a very, very small percentage of people can actually make it over to the republic. Why? Because it requires accountability, responsibility, self-education, self-reliance, drive. It requires you to be free. It means that you stand on an island all by yourself and you figure out a way to make money, whether it be online, which is the new economy, or whether it be, other means. But there are so many different ways to make money because everybody needs something done for them. And this is what I was told when I first started selling Kirby's. This is what I was told by my by the owner or the distributor of the office I was working out of. It was my first sales gig, and he says, if you want to have what I have, find 10 things you hate about what you do, master them, and then hire 10 people to do those 10 things, and then you'll be a business owner. Um, uh, uh, it just you when you sorry, I kind of lost. I'm paying attention to chat and trying to keep my thoughts going. Have you any watched Fallout series on the internet? No, I have not. But this thing right here is just, I don't know. If i- you got to be able to figure out what it is that other people hate doing, and you got to go do that. Okay. People don't like cleaning their bathrooms and their kitchens because of how much happens in there. I will tell you, I'm a master at cleaning bathrooms. I can, um, because when you go and you clean a house, if the husband's paying for it, you better shine that bathroom because that is what he's looking at. That's his throne room. A woman, doesn't matter whether she's what type of woman she is. She could be whatever. A woman, her main focus is that kitchen because she wants to be able to have a clean environment to be able to cook food for her family. Okay, and that is it's inherently in a woman and in men. Okay, and so therefore most people don't want to get down and do the nitty gritty because they're just not that detailed. So what was I good at? I was good at detail cleaning kitchens and bathrooms. The rest of it, people are like they would let it slide because it's easier for them to maintain the common areas than it is to maintain those two areas. So when I structured my cleaning and the way I did my methodology, I went out there and I did those things because those are things that people don't like doing that they're willing to pay somebody else to do if they're good at it. Okay. And this is essentially how you get yourself employed. This is how you go out, you find your own work, and so on and so forth. It's going to take a minute to get yourself out there unless you know how to work digital platforms. And see, those of us that have the age gap, those of us that are over 35, um, we weren't necessarily, most of us were not necessarily raised with technology. And so therefore the introduction of technology, because we're used to it the way it used to be, we put up these blockers. And at this point in stage, if you do not adopt and adapt and put away your mental blocks for adapting to technology and becoming proficient in it, instead of saying, "Oh, I'll just call my nephew." No, you need to learn it on your own because in the future you will be considered the Luddites, and nobody the Luddites don't survive, okay, because they refuse to evolve. Very few, I mean, even the Amish have evolved a little bit to be able to be a part of society. They're not complete Luddites, but when it comes to technology, they just don't want to use it for their own reasons, and it may be a good or a bad reason. We don't know, but we do not, if you're over 35 and you're not embracing and becoming proficient in technology, and you're wondering how you're going to have a job in the next 10 years or 15 years until you reach 65, when you can get social security that may not even be there, well, I don't know, Elon Musk might be able to save that, who knows. But what is it that you're going to do? And the thing about doing stuff like this is stuff that you can do, and as long as you want to do it and talk about it every day, there is a way to. I mean, you can you'll make an income. You won't want to retire. Okay, well, I don't want to retire anyways. I said in my 20s I'd never retire. I'd just tinker when I got to a retirement age. Morning, Mr. Ramen Noodle. What's up, Snake Survival? Amish use cell phones. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, and apparently they have a dumpster where they all hide their porn. That's funny. There's an Amish guy I listened to. Yeah, he was talking about that. I was like, oh, that's fucking kick ass. Mm, mm. But when it comes to when it comes to when it comes to dealing with the AI apocalypse, you have to learn where you can create value. Stop relying on someone else. The age of being an employee is over. You need to adapt to the age of the freelancer, the age of the digital nomad per se. Okay, this is the wave of the future. It's been going for almost 15 years, since about 2010 is really when it started, and it slowly picked up momentum. And now with the lockdowns of 2020, and then that coupled with this AI race, it is now it is now sped a process up that was going to take 25 to 30 years to transition into, so that we could have the older generation kind of pass away, so that the younger ones with the new technology could just we could slowly evolve into it. We're given a crash course, and it's like, if you're not gonna adapt to this right now, you won't survive tomorrow. So um Um, okay. I mean, what's up, trains and better things? Nice to see you. But yeah, if you're going to survive, and the thing is, the more you experience in life. So this is if you are younger, if you are under the age of 30, your 20s should be all about gaining experience. That experience will lead to knowledge. That knowledge will become applied and lead to wisdom. That knowledge and that wisdom and that experience is something that you can share later on in your life. I think the age where you work from 18 to 65, and then you have a couple years left to enjoy the last few years of your miserable existence, that age is going away real quick. As it goes right now, if you are part of the younger generation, you should be experiencing life. Put on a backpack, go hike trail, go do what I just did for the last 2 years. Okay, go be a nomad, go explore, go experience life, because you take your 20s to experience life, so that by the time you get to your 30s, you have some experience that you can sit there and take and share with the world, that is unique not only to you, but you can show and show people a different way to do things, plus resonate with a certain audience, because we all resonate with different people. I listen to a guy named Dan Coe. Okay, he is influencing how I'm moving my channel forward. Um, I follow him because I resonate with the way he puts out his information, because it's educational and it's all meat and potatoes. I love the meat and potatoes. It may be an hour long video, but I'm so engaged because it's nothing but meat and potatoes. Do this, do this. Here's the example. Here's how I applied it. Do this, do this, do this. Here's an example. Here's how I applied it. And so he walks you through what to do, why to do it, and what his experience was from it. And by doing that, he's now educating those that want to move themselves from just being a common creator to moving to the next level, to becoming a larger creator that actually makes a livable income off of their dream or their experience or whatever it is. You know, that is the wave of the future. So let's see. Large group moved into my hometown 24 years ago. Built a log cabin church. Said it was too fancy. Made him put siding on it. Um, my blood is worth thousands of dollars because I have pure blood from not taking the coronavirus vaccination. Well, that might be true. I didn't take the vaccination either. Um, I think a lot of people didn't take it. Only the lemmings took it. So, because the thing is, we used to, my grandfathers, both of my grandfathers, when they were in the education system, they were taught the Socratic method. Do you guys, type one, if you know what the Socratic method is, type two if you don't, and I'll explain it. Okay. So, what is a muggle? A muggle, those are the normies. Yeah. The muggles are normies. Yeah, same thing. But anyways, yeah. Um, okay. Uh, shit, I forgot what I was gonna explain. Oh well. Like lemmings, yes. Okay, so anyways, I kind of lost my whole train of thought. I hate it when that happens, but that's kind of what happens when you got so much crap going through your brain. Um, because I'm trying to filter out what I want to say, to so that it makes sense. Because like I already have all the knowledge, and so I'm like, yeah, but this and connects to this. But yeah, you definitely need experience. If you haven't watched Harry Potter, then you don't know. Mm. But yeah, if you're under 25, you need to experience life, because that is the one thing that you have to offer that AI doesn't. When they automate everything, they still need consumers, and there's going to be a portion of them. Uh, Thou shalt do no harm. Yes, there's a portion of them that well, okay. So the way that the future could look is like this. You have those that are the elites that are controlling it and pulling the strings. You have the politicians and the useful idiots that are in power that give some semblance of control, so that they have the state thing. So unless you work for the state, you're really not going to have a job. But the state's going technological and automating its systems, and they're trimming government using automation. So therefore, we're moving fastly into the digital surveillance state. Okay, so the only way that you will ever be able to survive and become a consumer is to figure out how to freelance, subcontract, or start your own business, because that is going to be the only way. Because now what you got to do is, in the same way that you have the creator economy, you have a certain segment that focuses on YouTube improvement and like how to improve your channel, how to get more views, how to get monetized, how to build a channel. And then you have groups and then that group is what teaches and educates the rest of the creator economy. So you've got vidIQ, you got Think Media, you got Dan Co, you've got a few others that are really really popular, and then it just propagates down. And so because I'm doing this channel, I need to learn how to get better at it so that I can, turn it into something that's viable, something that will support me in the future. And so, therefore, I go to these educators and so on and so forth. And this is going to be the economy of the future. If you do not have knowledge and wisdom to share, whether it be being a beginner homesteader, because a lot of people are like, I want to start homesteading, but I don't know how. Let me see this guy. Oh, he's a tool. I can do it better than him. Because they think I'm a tool. And I've even had people in business think, oh, well, he's a tool, until they try to do what I was doing. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's not a tool. This guy knows what he's doing. But as people, if they see all the mistakes and stuff like that, they think that they'll be better because now they're learning from your mistakes and they think that they're going to do better. Um, Technocracy, we already are. Mm. Um, but Tuck is working hard on this technocracy. Um, so, um, mm. But it requires a whole different set of knowledge to be able to do this. Okay, so um, and so that's the people that are going to survive. They may not survive the best. I mean, look at me. I'm on a 1 acre piece of land that cost me less than $200 a month. I I pay about $30 a month for water because it takes me a couple months to get through it. Um, definition plays. Okay. Um, a technocracy. A technocracy is essentially the surveillance state. Instead of government employees, it's going to be technology that's going to be implementing, and that's where AI is going to come in. AI will replace politicians, or because what it's going to do is eventually make decisions based upon efficiency and what it's programmed to do, which is to either answer a question or perform a task. Okay, and we're already there. We already have technology doing that, and the more that we can process. So, in that same article, Glenn Beck was talking about the new chip that Microsoft produced. So, under current technology, the AI can advance 10 to 15 years per 12 hours. But with this new chip, once it gets up and gets into like an AI supercomputer or something like that, that they're trying to put it into, it will be able to grow 50 to 100 years every 12 hours. At some point in time, that's going to take over everything. It's in the beginning stages of it now because we're starting to implement the infrastructure and the groundwork for it so that we can have the surveillance state. The United States has the ability right now to stop any and all migration, any and all crimes, just because of the amount of surveillance that they currently have right now. They just choose not to for various reasons. Maybe it's profitable. Maybe it's just, they got to keep things going. So they realize if they take certain things away, that they're going to deal with the revolt, and they're trying to keep the masses. The larger the population gets, the more volatile it gets. That's why you hear them talk about, culling the herd, is for that. In over a year watching you, you went from being in Gainesville to Cincinnati, hurricanes hit, got busy, then see you're on property. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I worked long and hard to be able to get to this place. I mean, um, I didn't. Not only that, I got lucky. If it wasn't for Stephanie posting on Craigslist and me seeing it and going, well, I can afford $200 a month. I know I can afford that. Um, this would have never happened. I probably, well, I would probably still be making quite a bit of funds like I was when I was sleeping out on a corner, but or in the forest on trail. But um, eventually, if I would have taken something bigger and gotten finance for it and all that stuff, it probably would have taken me a couple of years to be able to get through it. So being able to have owner finance allows you to speed up the process. And a blank slate of land, I mean, that means you can do anything you want with it. Who cares what the terrain's like? You can sculpt it. That's what terraforming is all about. Um, yeah. Forcing back fear as I listen. Okay. Um, yeah, well, you shouldn't be afraid of it. Okay. The thing is you don't need to be afraid of this. Okay. You need to be skeptical. You need to kind of, kind of keep a hands off approach to it. I even whether I want to or not, in order for me to remain competitive, I'm being forced into using AI to integrate into how I do my channel. I'm being forced into it. I didn't want to do it. I've actually been fighting it as long as possible. But once you start saying like, yeah, a lot of these creators are putting out a lot of content, but that's because AI is generating it all. And all they are is a talking head regurgitating it, maybe modifying the script a little bit, but they're just regurgitating. Um, look at the video that I did that is tomorrow. So for those of you that have the early release membership here on YouTube, it's $2.99 a month. For those of you that have that, watch how, listen to the words and listen to how it I work really hard on taking the fluff out and just kind of keeping the meat and potatoes, but just kind of watch its progression. It creates a story. It creates a bare bones story. And well, at least that's the way it was, but now it's getting so in depth. It's like it's going to get to a point where everything in the script is AI because it writes it so much better and covers points that you didn't know because it has the ability to research and compute data much quicker than you to be able to help you come to these conclusions. Now you can throw in your personal experience, your personal knowledge, and stuff like that, but for the most part, this is even the way the creator economy is moving. A lot of these creators are moving to AI. These scripts are written by AI, and very little may be modified Megan Kelly has millions of followers and hundreds of thousands of daily listeners. She just started doing more content. Yes, because she can, because AI makes it possible. Okay. Um, and the difference between those that are going to be successful and those that aren't are going to be those who use AI as a crutch. They will be the lemmings, the people that are lazy and we're never going to amount to anything, anyways. The people that use AI properly will be those that use it as a tool, as an assist. Okay, so yeah, it may write an outline for me and a script, but I'm going in there, I'm modifying as much of it as I possibly can to make sure it portrays the message. Now, it helps me with the delivery of it by keeping the language simple because sometimes I tend to use technical language, which causes people's eyes to glaze over. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Um, that's just the way that's just the way it is. And so yes, less AI and more she talks about stuff people want to know about. Okay, but yeah, she um I don't watch Megan Kelly. I don't, like I said, I don't really consume that much content anymore because I'm so enthralled in making content that I don't even get to go watch content. And sometimes I even try and watch my competitors from time to time just to see what they're doing so that I can, kind of modify my content. But the thing is, it's not necessarily about more content. She's already got a following. She's got years of all of this other stuff that she's got going. To compare myself to her would be saying that I should be as good as Michael Jordan, and I'm not gonna ever be as good as Michael Jordan. I don't want to be as good as Michael Jordan. I want to, because I have my own things that I can bring, just like you had the Stockton to Malone combination. Uh, what was it? Stockton, or yeah, Stockton was really kind of like he was the invisible man on the team because it was all about Carl Malone because they had such a good tandem. Okay, so does everybody need to be Michael Jordan? No, no, only certain people can be Michael Jordan. But if you want to be a Steve Kerr, you want to be a Scottie Pippen, you want to be a John Stockton, not everybody can be Larry Bird. Okay, so to compare myself to somebody that I'm not even on their level yet, nor have I established the following that they have yet, nor do I have the background in broadcasting that they do yet, nor do I have $1 million team behind me to help me produce the content. This is something that homeless entrepreneur keeps reminding me of, is that um is that a lot of these big creators, they have $1 million budgets behind them. I've got just me. So to compare myself to somebody like that, I don't even have those resources. So how can I compare myself? I need to be more realistic in my comparisons. As I get better, as I grow, I start raising the bar, but I got to have some starting point. And so yes, I mean, putting out more content is king, but also at the same time, she has developed such a large following that they want to get to know her a little bit better. That's why I do live streams, excuse me, which is so that you guys that want to be able to have a closer interaction with me, that want to be able to have to be able to chat back and forth and to have that real conversation and to be able to partake in my experiences because I love cooking, and so therefore most of my live streams is me cooking, except for the last few days. So okay, ChatGPT really helps with writing a psychological profile of my characteristics in my book. Okay, yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan has 4 people, including himself, um, do his whole show plus clips. Yeah, because he's got a good editor. He's got a good producer. See, what would be a game changer for me right now is I need a producer. Okay. I need somebody that will take over the not the production part of it, because I want to be able to have more time to develop my subjects. And that's why I'm trying to get ahead on videos so that I have time to really develop my subjects, go learn what I need to learn so that I can write what I need to write, so that I can produce what I need to produce. But if I had a producer, my producer would be going out and getting sponsors. My producer would be making sure that the content that I'm doing is engaging, and so on and so forth. My producer would be helping me out with editing and feedback, because their whole job is to make me lots and lots of money by getting me sponsorships, by and making sure that I put the best quality product out there. But without having somebody like that there, I have to go do all that stuff myself. And so now all of a sudden I've got so many hours. Plus, I have my own obstacles that I've got to overcome. But each one of those hours, a little sliver of it has to be attached to one of those many tasks that you get to do. Okay. 4 people right now would be a big enough game changer for me. But if you look at it, he's got four of probably the most critical people that he needs, because all he does is he does interviews. And so he can take the time and he can do his research, because his producer's going out there and getting the guests, filtering the guests, and qualifying the guests. Plus, he's going out there and getting sponsors that will go with that guest, so that therefore that whole podcast makes money. That is what a producer does, or a manager does. And that is probably, an editor would probably be my first hire. My second hire would be a manager or a producer, because those are two of the most critical things in being able to build a large following. Now, there are people that have like 20-man and 30-man teams. I mean, look at how big Mr. Beast is. I mean, look at how big some of these guys are. They have large teams. Some can do it efficient, because, I mean, look at he makes it look simple, but he has the time to research his guests and to research the topics and to sit there and ask the questions, while he has people doing the most important things that are going to bring views and bring money to him, which would be those critical things. Because if you've got a good editor, that means he knows how to do good sound design. That means he knows how to do visual graphics. That means that he knows how to do retention editing. And those things right there, those will improve your viewership so much, just to be able to have somebody like that. But that's going to cost, like maybe $150 a video. So I better be making at least $500 to $1,000 a video before I can afford something like that. But it becomes like a slow momentum, and you just got to, just like when I started my cleaning business. I started with what I had on hand. As I made money, I reinvested it back into what it was that I was doing. And then from that point, I had a larger amount of equipment, which now allowed me to offer more services, because I allowed my original customers to tell me what types of services that I wanted to have. So I didn't go out and waste my money on all this equipment that I didn't need. And that was an important lesson that I learned in business. And this is probably the one reason why most people don't start businesses, is because they think they need everything up front. But what is your clientele? What do they want? You might buy all this crap, and like 80% of it, none of your clients want. That was a waste of money. Only 20% of it is what they want. Okay. And so when you're starting a business, you need to start with what you have on hand. This is why they say just point, click, record, just get started. Figure out what your audience wants, what it is that you can offer your audience that your audience is willing to pay for. Okay. Now, I don't have 10 years or 20 years of experience in broadcasting. I haven't been on major broadcast news. I don't have a large following, like some of these big talking heads. But I'm building it. Do I need a large following? No, I do not. 10,000 subscribers has always been my goal. I've never had a goal to go above 10,000 subscribers. CTO, CPO, all fake titles. Yes. Um, Yes, but yeah, but it's not the title you need, it's the services. And another thing, and this is why homeless entrepreneur and I are working the way that we're working together, is I told him way back in the beginning. I said, look, Gary Vee says it, and I totally agree with him. You have some people that are really good number ones, some people that are really good number twos, number threes, in a company. Um, I can be a number one, but I actually feel more comfortable being in a number two role, where um, I have the ability to take my creativity, because my biggest problem has always been funding. And so all these projects that I want to do, I don't ever really get to do them, because most of the time I don't get any type of funding for them, or I'm not able to raise the large amount of funding that I want to be able to do. But that's kind of where a good number one comes in, because generally your number one is not only the person, is generally the person with the capital, and the number two and number three are the ones that actually make everything happen. I can run a business, make it profitable, make it good. I just don't want to do it on that level for myself again. I would rather sub my services out and be like a number two, where I don't have to worry about the funding. I can just take my ideas, put them into fruition, get approval for them, and show how they're going to make money. That's really where my talent is. My talent has never been, having large amounts of funds. I have the vision, I just have never had the funds. So that's why I say I would rather be a number two than a number one. Now, if I continuously had the funds so that I could implement a lot of my ideas, then I would be like, yeah, I'd make a great number one because I have great vision. Uh, which is what you need from a number two, especially if you're not really that good at it. Okay. So crap. Oh well. But yeah, okay. So I was saying exactly in regards to tech, saying reinvest right back into your own business. Yes. Reinvesting back into your own business is important. Uh, you I started my cleaning business with $20. Okay. $20. Okay. I went on Thumbtack, I bought 4 leads. One of those leads paid out. Why did I have the confidence to do that? Because in all the sales I've ever done, my average closing ratio is between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4. So if I could buy 4 leads, I know I could close one of them. If I can't close one of them, then I know that that's probably not the right thing for me. So I bought 4 or 5 leads. Well, one of them turned out, and I made like $200 off of it. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now let me take that $80 and buy some more tokens so that I can buy more leads, so that I can make more money. And hey, let me go buy this chemical and this chemical because my first customer said they wanted eco-friendly. So apparently that's very sought after. And as time went along, I never charged extra for eco-friendly because I knew that that's what the customer wanted. So I did eco-friendly, and so I wasn't going to charge extra and then say, oh yeah, well, if you want it done cheaper, I can use harsh chemicals. I only used eco-friendly chemicals, and I only charged my rate for eco-friendly. Now I could have charged another $10 to $15 a man hour for it, just because of all that other stuff. But why? And so my customers started coming to me because they wanted eco-friendly. Most people want eco-friendly, but they make it so unaffordable. They make it a luxury item because it's cheaper to buy the cheap chemicals than it is to buy that. But I figured out ways to be able to buy eco-friendly chemicals at a low cost. I'll tell you, the only chemicals I use, okay, the DoTerra On Guard cleaning concentrate. I use that in my spray bottles. That makes a glass shine better than anything else. Okay. If you want some cleaning tips, here's how you can do it. $15 for a little 15 milliliter bottle, and that will do anywhere between 1 to 200 bottles of spray. So you have your own spray bottle, you do your mixture, 1 tablespoon versus one spray bottle, mix it up, use warm water, that way it bonds better, and then sit there and spray it. Not only does it leave a good smell, the cinnamon in it keeps fire ants away, the eucalyptus in it keeps spiders away, and so therefore it's a natural guard. It lasts for about 3 days before it wears off, and then you're going to get invaded again. However, this is something that you would do. So that was the one chemical that I use. I use it on all surfaces, including. Now, I used oven cleaner, and I had to use Easy Off because it was just cleaning an oven, and the way people's ovens are, I mean, that thick and just sit on the bottom. And you got to sit there and take a glass scraper because you're working with ceramic, and you got to keep that thing wet as you're scraping that with a little glass scraper to make it nice and pristine and make it look like brand new. Okay. The other thing that I used, okay, which was the two main chemicals that I used, which was the DoTerra On Guard, and then I would use soft scrub. I would use either the OxyClean or I would use the lemon. I preferred the lemon, but the OxyClean was great in bathrooms, especially when you had like a really dirty bathtub, because it has little grains in it. And the OxyClean kind of it's a nicer than bleach, especially most you don't realize how many people are allergic to bleach until you start cleaning, right? Um, and so therefore, all I used was those two chemicals. If I ever had grease to deal with, oh yeah, definitely soft scrub. If there was something that really needed to get scrubbed out, soft scrub. but everything that I used was those two chemicals plus Easy Off. And on a rare occasion, I would have to go get something like when I was doing commercial product projects where I would have to go get specialized cleaners that were not eco-friendly. But that was kind of the way that I did it. So $15 for and that I would go through one of those bottles every month. um and sometimes a bottle and a half, depending upon how bad it was. It would always make the place smell so much better. People would say it smelled like potpourri. And it was cheap. It was not that expensive, but I could have charged so much more for all that. And then Seventh Generation stinks. Young Living stinks. I can't stand those smells. I will not use anything that's Seventh Generation. And most of that stuff that they say is eco-friendly or reclaimed and all that other stuff, I wouldn't trust it. I really wouldn't. Um, I'm not a social person other than text chats. Well, Chris, um, okay, people have made a lot of money just doing lawn maintenance. It boils down to caring enough to do a good job at whatever, and it's a fair price. Okay, so here's what you can do. If you're making money at doing landscaping, look into a company. It's called 99 Calls. They're out of Naples. I don't know. It's been years since I've used them, but they were my SEO. And when I stopped, because I got tired of buying leads. And so they really 99 Calls. They will build you a web page, a landing page, and they will do all your SEO. Just make sure you have a Google My Business profile and make sure that you do all that. But they will manage your digital footprint for you, and you don't even have to do any advertising. What you should be doing is doing small little videos. Like, go look at the other lawn maintenance channels, or the guy that goes out there and does it for free and then just so that he can do it. Because what he's doing is he's showing his work, not about him. um uh it's not about him. It's about the job and the pristine. So it's all about presentation, it's all about quality, it's all about a quick minute video just to show what it looked like, a little bit of, like going really fast, maybe 5 times speed, just to show a little bit of the work that you're doing as you're trimming it, final product, put it out. Now all of a sudden, um you can put some text overlay on it and just say, learn more, and then just point down. That way they know it's down in the make long form videos on it, make short form videos on it. Don't really worry about talking about yourself. What you're doing is you're using video to create a digital resume. By creating a digital resume, now you can post that to your Google My Business profile. And now when people start searching through, now all of a sudden you're going to get moved to the top, because video is king. And so you're going to get moved to the top, not only in the rotation, but you will also be able to show them, a real time of like what type of work you do, so they can sit there and they're going through the videos and like, I got a lawn like that and he did that with that lawn, I want him to do this with my lawn. And so therefore, did you have to go out there and talk and do anything else like that? No. All you did was hire a company, and they're going to cost you a couple $100 a month. I mean, I'm going to be serious about it, but it takes maybe 3 clients to pay for it, but they will pay for themselves. Okay, they will pay for themselves. I had to learn a lot about SEO and SEO for my business, because I got taken advantage of so many times. I lost so much money trying to get my digital platform to where I actually went and educated myself so that I knew what I was doing, which is what allows me to come in here and do what I'm doing. Okay, is I understand it. I just kind of trying to find that. Yes, 99 Calls is the name of the place. Tell them Osiris Cleaning sent you. Okay, that was the name of my business. They'll know who I was, because I made a big old stink when I canceled them. But it's been about 3 or 4 years since I worked with them. The reason why I canceled them was because uh, uh, post pandemic, like social media, and I'm like, I need you guys to start doing social media posts for me. They're like, well, we do Facebook, and it's like, dude, you're not really marketing me there. You're not providing me with anything. I'll pay extra to be able to have you do SEO on like Facebook and stuff like that. You could even use like Instagram, but they stick to the traditional web building website stuff. They're not going to get into social media. That's going to be something that you have to do. Osiris, like the Egyptian god, Osiris. Yeah, I was based out of Dallas. So you might be able. I deleted my profile when I closed my business, but you might still be able to find some stuff because I still got a home advisor profile. Yeah, you can go see all the work I used to do. It was pretty good. Mm. One of the best reviews I ever got was and it was probably it was my one of my bigger jobs. I think I got paid $2,500 plus some extras for doing because I project managed the whole thing. The guy, his mom had passed. She had a house. They wanted to keep things. They didn't want to keep things. So what we did is we cleaned the house, got it ready for sale. So we got it all nice and sparkling. I subbed out like the carpet cleaning. I subbed out like having a dumpster. So I project managed the whole damn thing. Yes, home advisor. Um, uh, but uh, anyways, um, what was the and so yeah, I mean, I ended up paying about $900 or $1,200 out of pocket for everything. That included the dumpster, but yeah, we had a big payday on that one. That was good. But he's like, the guy was pricey, but it was totally worth it. Like he told me I was expensive, but you know what? He got the bang for his buck too. Environmental, eco-friendly. Hmm. Yeah, cleaning is something that's therapeutic to me. Cleaning, I love. If you notice that I keep cleaning this place, and I keep rearranging it and trying to organize it and keep it looking nice. You guys will hear me talk about that. People have asked me, "Well, why do you make your bed every day?" It's like because it's part of my self care. But I like doing it for other people because I like the shine and I like seeing their face when they're like because as a man when you go into cleaning they look at you like you're a dude. You don't know how to clean. I had one customer who actually sought me out because I was a male cleaner because she's like, male cleaners have less drama and they do better work and they don't complain, because they can lift heavy things and stuff like that, can move things around. She absolutely, loved our work. And we did it, talked with her the whole time while we were cleaning. And but for the most part you would walk in and I had to have a female with me because otherwise if it was me and another guy because Paul we tried that we would get pushed out. As long as I had a female with me I could always get in the house. Okay, once we got in the house the woman would look at it and go, oh my god, I think I just hired the wrong cleaner. And then by the end of it I've taken her woman card and shown her that I'm a better cleaner than she is. um and that's always fun because on one hand they're excited, but on the other hand, you get to hear them like, it's like, yes, I can clean better than you. Men are actually better cleaners. That's why we stick in the janitorial side, though, because that's really where the detail cleaning comes. There's too much drama, and the reason why. Here's the one thing in the cleaning industry for anybody that's curious. The one thing um, a- about uh, uh, about house cleaning side of it is it's generally females and they're all mostly Hispanic. And the thing is the Hispanic girls, and this is why if I have a cleaner and they have Hispanic, especially if they're not native, go away, go away. I don't want foreigners in my house because what'll happen is they'll come in, they'll clean once, they'll clean twice, and then they'll start stealing your stuff because the thing is the Hispanic women are so drama driven that they've got to create turmoil. And so now they look at these customers and they go, they have all this money and I have nothing, so I'm going to start taking from them. What do they know? And the one thing that I had to worry about, which is why I always carried $1 million worth of insurance, is I also had to explain to him, it's like, yeah, no, I'm insured, and no, we won't steal from you and stuff like that. And I was able to turn a lot of people's opinions or attitudes around. So organization can be such a stress reduction. Um, y- yeah, I'm very disorganized though. And my biggest problem with brain damage is transitioning from topic to topic. Um, yeah. So, but it's yeah, that's why I stopped dating Hispanic women. Once I dated an authentic Hispanic woman, I'm like, I'll never date a Hispanic woman ever again. No, 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 no. All the pluses do not outweigh the negatives. I do not. I will not date Hispanic women ever again. Um, quite frankly, the best dating experience I have had in probably the last 10 years would probably be a black girl that I dated when I was in Dallas. I still regret having to end it with her, but I had to choose between my business and a relationship, and I chose the business. And in some ways, I kind of regret it, especially knowing what happened later on, knowing that the business went away. That was probably one of the healthiest, best relationships I had. I was everything I wanted. But anyways, I still think back and regret about that. All right, guys, we've been going for almost an hour and a half. Wow, we are getting these to go quite long. I think that's pretty good. As you see, let's see. Can you see the? Can you see? No, you can't necessarily see. You guys keep asking me about my neighbors. I'm going to show you my neighbors, and then that's going to be the last thing that we're going to do um, before I head out. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, see it through the screen. Okay, so that right there, that is the main road that goes between east and west Concho. Okay, so that those apparently the guy has been putting containers on his land for years. Don't know what he's got in it. Don't know. Don't really care. I just noticed that like one day there was like a couple of containers there, and the next day all of a sudden you see like 7 or 8 containers there. Um, and then you have another guy that is over here that you can see. That's another storage container. And then if you go a little bit over here to the left on the other side of this hill, you will actually have I actually have another neighbor. His dog gets out all the time. There's actually a couple of them that got some really developed homesteads or off-grid homesteads. Uh, I mean, they got they got better things than I do. I can just say that. But anyways, FEMA camp. Thanks, CJ. Me and Tech need to take a trip to Russia and find some beautiful 19-year-old Russian women. You know what, IRE? I'll take you up on that. If you're buying the ticket, I'll go. Hey, all right, you too. Plus, they have brain damage. Next topic. New. I don't know. I've never heard of it, Beth. Well, I've heard of it. I don't know what it does. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So thanks for being here, and I will see you tonight.